A very good evening to you all. Thank you for watching Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Television. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold Wadulo Muhammad on sign language. Then this is the news tonight, and without further ado, let's get straight into the bulletin. To start off, 1,491 have this weekend graduated at Busitama University in Busia district. At least 512 females and 979 male, representing 34% and 66% respectively, received their honors during an event officiated by the Vice President, Major Jessica Alupo. Details follow.
As graduates today, to develop a positive attitude towards work as well as keeping morally upright. Do not despise work. Take up any work opportunity that presents itself before you, however humble. Do not despise small beginnings that can enable you to acquire experience and valuable skills. This will enable you widen your knowledge in the area of your specialty, make you relevant and marketable, not only domestically, but globally.
By virtue of the powers entrusted upon me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Agricultural Mechanization and Irrigation Engineering of Busitama University. Congratulations.
The graduates received their awards at the university today at the university grounds in a ceremony officiated by Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo, who also doubles as Woman Member of Parliament for Katakwi District on behalf of President Yoweri Museveni. In his speech, the president said that it is a deliberate intention of government to promote sciences more because this was the fastest way to develop Uganda's economy.
Our education strategy is intended to produce a literate, skilled, and intellectualized population with the ability to transform our society into an industrialized, middle-class, and skilled services-oriented society. It is our deliberate intention as government to promote the sciences more because we believe that this is how Uganda's economy can develop faster. The second strategy is to provide research funds to support scientific and innovative work. We are beginning to see that this is possible as the research funds have been usefully expended.
Museveni noted that one of the key challenges facing many African countries, Uganda inclusive, is the high level of unemployment of youth, many of whom are university graduates. He explained that the education system in most of African countries produces youth who have limited or no skills, which makes them job seekers rather than job creators. Museveni said this is symptomatic of the colonial type of education that still engulfs our education system in Africa and which Uganda is progressively moving away from. He noted that government is working hard to attract local and foreign investment in all the sectors of the economy with the aim of creating enough jobs for the population. Present at the function included the Minister of Primary Education, Joyce Kaduchu, Chancellor of Busitama University, Professor Vinland Nantulia, and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Paul Wako, among others. Etole Ed Archangel, UBC News.
Furthermore, construction works for a multi-billion specialized hospital project was today launched in Hoima City by the Prime Minister, who represented the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, this project is an initiative by the Catholic Diocese of Hoima under the leadership of the Bishop Vincent Chirabo Amoti.
The foundation stone for the proposed construction of St. Mary's Specialized Children and Women's Hospital at Bujumbura in Hoima City has been laid by the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, who represented President Museveni. The multi-billion construction project is located at Bujumbura in Hoima City. This facility, to be constructed in a phased manner, is expected to be on international standards, serving Africa and beyond. In a speech read for him by the Prime Minister, Museveni appreciated the initiative, taken by the Catholic Diocese of Hoima to start construction of such a specialized hospital.
There has been programs targeted at women and children, including mass immunization against what used to call the six killer diseases. Infant and maternal mortality rates. Infant and maternal mortality rates have been falling, but they remain unacceptably high. Every child and every mother should not die of these diseases. The construction of this specialized hospital is therefore a welcome idea. Asabire Mbagame Taroho Emilio Lisatu. Emilio Lisatu Adam Lisatu 300 million. 100 million. Emilio makumi abiri z'Uganda.
The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Hoima instituted a task force headed by former Minister of Energy, Permanent Secretary Kabagambe Kalisa. Bishop Chirabo expressed gratitude to government for the many infrastructure services extended to Bunyoro sub-region, such as the road network. He called upon all people of God to contribute towards construction of this hospital.
We are here at Bujumbura to perform a very important ceremony of ground breaking, where the planned hospital is going to be built. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. In a very special way, I welcome Right Honorable Robina Nabanja Akiki, the Prime Minister of Uganda, representing His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda. I take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to the government of Uganda for the services that the government has extended to this region.
This specialized hospital will occupy 28,000 square meters and will sit on 7.2 acres of land. To be in line with government's Bubu policy, the contractor will also use locally available materials. The ceremony was also attended by a cross-section of ministers and members of parliament.
In another development, government has reiterated its earlier position that come 30th of June 2022, all striking teachers who will not have reported back to school will risk losing their jobs. The Minister for Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, says that resident district commissioners, town clerks and chief administrative officers across the country are expected to implement this order.
It is now 2 weeks since secondary school art teachers announced a nationwide sit-down in protest of selective salary enhancement in favor of science teachers. The move was later on joined by primary art teachers. With the teachers seemingly determined to carry on with their strike, government seems to say whoever does not resume work will be struck off the government payroll.
Ministry of Public Service earlier on issued a letter to all teachers requesting them to report back to work on the 24th of this month. And the chief administrative officers, the town clerks and the RDCs and the other officials have been instructed to take note of the teachers who are in class teaching, and by 30th of this month, if there are teachers who have not reported to work, we shall consider them as government as having resigned from their positions.
Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance Minister Dr. Chris Baryomunsi says teachers who will not have complied by this and other earlier directives risk losing their jobs.
If their position is for vacant, measures will be taken to fill them. I am sure there are many other Ugandans who want jobs or who will accept to work on those terms and conditions as we improve those terms in due course. So measures will be taken to have those positions filled.
For those seeking legal redress from courts of law, Dr. Chris Baryomus had this to say.
They are free to go to court, but I doubt whether court will give them an enhancement if there is no money to enhance. Even if they reach Supreme Court, can Supreme Court say, please increase the money now? If it's not there, it's not there. So what we call for is the understanding that they should have that understanding and continue engaging with the government, maybe in the prioritization process as we face the enhancement. Then we can see at what time the other teachers can come in.
Baryomus, however, says plans are underway to increase the pay for all workers, but not through arm twisting.
We are not going to have fruitful discussions when you are keeping our children at home when they have spent 2 years without studying because of lockdown. We are saying the commitment from government is total. But we want teachers to get back to class, and then we continue with a constructive engagement. Because, like we've been saying, the president has said this, and he talked to them, and the Ministry of Public Service has said this, the Vice President has, I am communicating the same, that the government is committed to enhancing the pay of all public servants, including teachers. But we shall do it in a phased manner.
As of now, it is only science teachers that are in class, as their other counterparts carry out industrial action. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Safe Learning Environment Training and Awareness Program for National Teachers Colleges in Uganda has been launched at Mubende National Teachers College in Mubende District. The Belgian government-funded program through the Enabel project is to be the first piloted in 5 national teachers colleges selected on a regional basis, namely Mubende for Central, Muni NTC in Arua for Northwestern, Unyama NTC Gulu for Northern, Kabale NTC for Western, and Kaliro NTC for Eastern. These are the details.
Environment Training and Awareness Raising Program of National Teachers Colleges is a new program geared at building a safety culture in students and staff at school. Through the program, students, staff, first aiders and first wardens are equipped with basic emergency response measures like first aid and firefighting skills, among others. The Belgian government-funded program, Ministry of Education and Sports in partnership with Enabel project, has been launched at Mubende NTC and targets other 4 NTCs selected regionally of Moni in Arua, Unyama in Gulu, Kaliro in Eastern and Kabale in the Western sub-region. Ronald Nanjobu, a safety consultant with the program, and Cuthbert Isingoma, the director, Uganda Road Accidents Reduction Network Organization, are the implementers of the program.
The purpose is to improve safety in the 5 NTC. In completion, which is on completion now, we expect that students will be able to prevent any potential hazards that could occur to themselves and to the buildings.
Colleges, teacher training colleges, which are trying to educate their staff, the students, the workers and the lecturers, teachers, to be able to learn, to have a safe learning environment.
The college principal, Francis Katerega, says the program is a welcome move.
We have put our college to a new page. We are grateful to the Ministry of Education, our development partners, Enabel, on behalf of the Kingdom of Belgium, and also very grateful to the government of Uganda.
The Principal Judge Justice Flavian Zeja has blamed government for violating human rights for inmates. The principal judge says that while courts are mandated to protect the rights of each individual inmate on both fair and quick trial, resources and manpower haven't enabled them to do so, which have seen many remain in prisons for many years. These are the details.
Case backlog remains a very big challenge facing the judicial system, with the principal judge blaming it to lack of enabling resources and manpower to dispense these files. As a result, many government prisons have gone beyond the holding capacity of inmates due to lack of fair and quick trials by these courts.
We start with the right to fair trial, because that's where the, human rights begins in our court. Then the fair trial, but also speeded trial. And I can tell you we are not doing well on those aspects. The problems may not necessarily be ours, but we are not doing well.
The principal judge, Justice Flavian Zeija, said government should partly be blamed for having been reluctant to avail them enough funds and manpower to undertake vigorous court hearings, more especially in the criminal justice system.
You know, under the criminal justice system, we pay witnesses, we pay because every accused person must get a legal representative. So we give an accused person a lawyer, we also pay witnesses. So that costs money. We pay their transport, some of them who come from far pay accommodation. So because of that, the judiciary has not been receiving enough resources.
Whereas the principal judge acknowledges the fact that courts have a cardinal role in the protection of human rights, majority of the inmates stay on remand beyond their stipulated time, which has contributed to overcrowding in prisons. However, this is now coming to an end as courts are now migrating from the season systems to day-to-day hearings.
But we are trying to solve it. We are running off from the session system into the day-to-day hearing. As the government is improving our resources, I think effective 2021, our budget was improved slightly. So we are trying to move away from the session system to day-to-day hearing, so that now people do not overstay on remand. It's of course it's also painful to us.
Speaking to journalists after launching the 13th Inter-University Human Rights Competition of 2020, the Executive Director, Foundation for Human Rights Initiative, Dr. Sewanya Livingstone, said those who will have served for long but later acquitted upon proving not guilty should be well compensated.
As a matter of law, if someone has been unfairly arrested, imprisoned, he or she and ultimately found to be innocent, he or she is entitled to compensation. That's a matter of principle.
Besides, Judiciary is stuck with unclaimed bail money amounting to shillings 5 billion. Dr. Sewanya Livingstone says this money accrued following the ignorance and fear by the defendants to come back to court to claim this money.
Ignorance of the law and of course poverty. Most of these people who find themselves being acquitted cannot claim their rights.
He advises the judicial officers to enlighten the suspects on their rights while in the premises of court, as this will create trust and confidence in the judicial system.
The Executive Director, Forum for Africa Women Educationalists Uganda, Susan Opok, wants all stakeholders to unite in ensuring safety for the young girls. Susan Opok says that there is need to protect the girl child from defilement, unwanted pregnancies and the likes.
Equipping the girls with the right information is one way of helping them to resist any form of temptation into early sex and associated dangers.
What choices can I make because of the actions that I take, because of the environment that I'm in, because, so that they are able to be responsible citizens. But we need to pass this information to them. We need to support them to understand, to appreciate, to know the right and wrong.
Even when the law provides for the right to quality education for all children, this has not been the case due to problems associated with access, quality and quantity.
Education, right to health, environment without violence, among others. And our own constitution, if you look at it, chapter 5, section 34, it ensures or states that everyone has the right to access high quality education.
Relatedly, the ongoing teachers' strike could further expose these girls to unsafe sexual temptations.
Every moment that a girl is out there is an exposure and vulnerability, marginalization increases. Because we have just come out of COVID, there is need for psychosocial support, there is need for awareness on sexual reproductive health aspects.
Marian Womcha and Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, Uganda's new Chancery building in Juba will be ready for occupancy by the end of this year. The new home will help reduce the rent costs, which is one of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs' largest expense per annum.
Over the years, there have been concerns about heavy costs incurred in rent in countries where Uganda has its diplomatic staff and embassies. The concerns prompted government to start investing significant resources in constructing its chancery buildings abroad.
We had agreed that each country must have a real home where they have missions. So far, we have a finished home in Kigali, a finished home in Bujumbura, a finished home in Dar es Salaam, and we are embarking on another one in Dodoma because the capital has changed, and we have a home in Nairobi. In Kinshasa and Juba, they are the same level of construction.
The construction of this multi-story building is expected to be completed by the end of this year. When completed and commissioned, the new Ugandan Chancery building in Juba, the capital city of South Sudan, will come with numerous advantages.
Because as you all know, we have been renting. We have been renting in South Sudan. We rent for the embassy and rent for the staff as well. This embassy has staff members, some of them are around, but the government has been incurring costs in rent. And as you all know, Juba is a hardship station. So getting accommodation is also quite expensive. The government is trying to see how it can reduce and use the resources properly, because the rent part is also very big if you look at our records.
Before you serve people properly, you must have a proper address. My brother explained to you that they have the consular offices, and I imagine this would be the main consular offices whereby people, Ugandans and non-Ugandans, would come and get the services at the at the entrance. But the strategy is to ensure that we have permanent homes where we have permanent missions, because our relations with our friends are not going to end soon.
Besides being one of Uganda's biggest trading partners in the region, Uganda also boasts of having the biggest diaspora in South Sudan. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Well, and that brings us to the end of our 8 o'clock edition of the News Tonight. Actually, our only bulletin tonight, as we hand you over to the team in Moroto, where they are hosting the Karamoja Peace and Love e-concert. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Mugalu Muhammad on Sign Language. See you tomorrow.
Diana,